Hey guys, my name is Steve Shaw, also known as the Bearded Beast of Duloc. I am a 45-year-old powerlifter. I compete at a height of 5 foot 10 inches, and my weight class is super heavyweight. I might be competing in the 308 class as well, depending on where I land. My occupation is a content manager for muscleandstrength.com. Marital status married, been training 27 years, and my favorite TV show and favorite TV show is Breaking Bad. Favorite film of all time, hands down, it is Alien. And my hobbies outside of training are reading, writing, hiking, watching baseball, and American football. Briefly tell you about myself. I've been married for 16 years, father of 2 wonderful daughters. My youngest daughter, Erin, is a national record-holding power lifter, and I live in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, which is known for beer, cheese, and bratwurst. Can't get any better than that. On the platform, my best squat is 602.5. My best deadlift is 672.5, and best bench press is 382.5. All of those were at the 2012 UPA Nationals in Dubuque, Iowa. I'll be competing here shortly in about 5 weeks, looking for at least an 1,800 raw total in the 308 weight class at an age of 45 years old. I currently hold national records in both the ADFPF in the 308-pound class and the UPA super heavyweight class. I believe I hold both the total and the deadlift records for these federations. I'm not sure if those are the masters or if those are the opens for those weight class. Might be both. I train for daily singles based on how I feel that day. My singles are always heavy, and my split it goes like this. It goes day 1, bench press. I'll work up to a max single, and then I'll do, if I have energy that day and I'm feeling good, I'll do some tricep extensions and curls. The next day, day 2, is off. Day 3, I will do a max squat and then a max deadlift single. The max squat single will be a heavy working single for that day. I'll always try to improve by 5 pounds on that max squat when I can. On off days, I'll just try to hold the course. So if last week, for example, I did a 625 squat single, I'm trying to peak for a contest. So this week I went for a 640 squat single. Felt great. So next workout, I'll probably try a 645 squat single. After I'm done with squatting, I'll do deadlifts. I'll either do deadlifts from a 3 to 4 inch height or from above the knee. Generally, I like to keep it at a 3 to 4 inch height, pull from there. But if I'm feeling off, I'll just do some high rack pulls. Day 4 of the program is an off day. I keep repeating the cycle, adding off days when I feel I need them. My training, as you can tell, is minimalistic. There is no assistance work. And I rarely do more than 1 heavy rep on the big lifts every 4 days. On the natural side of muscle building, there's only so much size you can put on, despite what people think. Strength training, though, is different. You can always add that extra pound to your total. You can always go into the gym and get that extra rep. It's far more tangible than natural muscle building. So progress at advanced levels is much more apparent, and that's basically why I turned over to powerlifting. I started to dabble with powerlifting about 2007. I ran into a guy at work who was a powerlifter. Before that time, I was fully into the muscle building and bodybuilding world. That was the sport I loved. Even though I started to dabble with powerlifting in 2007, I didn't fully commit until about 2009. The biggest mistakes beginners make are worrying about the small things when they need to master the basics and just get gorilla strong. Well, I compete at the UPA events, and I get to watch the Lillibridges, specifically Eric Lillibridge and Ernie Lillibridge Sr. and Jr. squat over and over again. And watching these guys make 700, 750, 800, 850 pounds, meet in and meet out look easy, that is the craziest thing I've seen in the sport. For me, it's mental strength. Putting 600 pounds on my back for a squat never feels mentally easier. I feel like I'm going to war every time I do this, every time I train. So I have to focus on my mental strength. That's by far and away the most important factor for me. And to be honest, not everyone can do this. The mental commitment is, to me, more extreme than the physical commitment. I'm not putting people down by saying that. It's just intense. The mental commitment is very, very intense. Time and consistency and training around adversity rather than quitting because of it. Time is the most important one. Just getting into the gym. I've been doing this for 27 years. People are amazed at how strong I am. I'm strong because I don't miss workouts. I just keep training. I keep scrapping for that extra pound. I'm not inhumanly strong compared to some of the top guys, but I'm strong. I'm stronger because of time. Right now, I'm zeroed in on being one of the top 5 all-time strongest lifters ever over the age of 40. That's something I'm really working my butt off for, something that I would really love to achieve. I'm not a big numbers guy, but at the end of the day, when you have a chance to say I'm one of the strongest 5 guys ever in the history of the sport over the age of 40, that would be something really cool to say. Basically boredom. I attended a very small college, the New Mexico Institute of Mining and Technology. If you've ever seen the movie Contact, with all the satellite dishes, the array of satellite dishes, that's where I went to school. Looks impressive and big, but in real life there's only like 800 students there with only about 40 women. So, as you can imagine, there's literally was nothing to do but lift and eat. The deadlift. Deadlift is by far and away my favorite lifts. My favorite lift. I'm very good at the squat, and people assume that the squat is my favorite lift, but squats actually scare me to death and are my least favorite lift. Getting under 600 plus pounds week in and week out is not the funnest thing in the world for me. Bench press I stink at, but it is probably my second favorite lift. Deadlifts are my go-to exercise. My motivation comes from having the ability to control my own destiny, having my hard work yield results. For me, this is addicting. It just doesn't happen in other areas of life. So that is really what I enjoy about the process. Getting down to the gym, knowing that it is me that controls my destiny, that one more rep or that one more pound. Honestly, the biggest obstacle for me is training at home alone. As I mentioned, it's not fun putting 600 pounds on my back, especially without spotters. Sometimes, as an old guy like I am, you lift up that weight, unrack it, and you're just shaking. Your CNS just isn't in the game. Then you have to walk the weight out, squat it, and then actually walk it back. And those little baby steps sometimes can be scary without having spotters. My diet, I eat a combination of low carb and intermittent fasting. On the weekends, I eat carbs, a lot of carbs, but during the week, I generally focus on whole foods, doing a lot of cooking. I love to cook, so during the week, it's usually just a lot of meat and a lot of heavy cream and a lot of good stuff like that. Natural ingredients, no carbs during the week. On the weekends, I allow myself a little bit of junk. I eat a lot of carbs. I don't calorie count, but I do try to eat a lot and plenty of proteins and fats, especially. Food is the key that drives my strength gains. So right now it's eating as much as I can whenever I can. I'm not a gifted lifter, so food is everything to me. It's a source of my strength. If I was born a real small bone guy, 6.4 inches around the wrist, which is considered small, smallerish, and generally not anything gifted. I was pretty weak, as a teen and in college. So if I wasn't a bigger guy, if I wasn't eating a lot, I would be probably a very mediocre 200-pound power lifter. Food is the source of my strength. Your favorite food, hands down, my favorite food is nachos. Most disliked food, broccoli. Hate it, hate it. I'll make a wicked broccoli cheese soup if I have to, but it's still my least favorite food. If I were given the controls to a gym music system, I would play the song Spirit in Black by Slayer about 100 times in a row. I'm a creature of habit in the gym. I like everything to be the same at all times. I like to have go-to songs that put me in the mood to destroy personal records. That one is right at the top of my list. There are many times in the gym where I listen to the same song on repeat over and over and over and over again, and that is usually the song. Well, I work at home, which is a huge blessing. I can pretty much eat and train whenever I need to. Sacrifices, I try to sacrifice as little as possible. Family is the most important thing to me, and I also try to seek balance in my personal life. I am not one that wants to go out and unbalance my life for a niche sport like this, no matter how much I love it. So lifting for me is part of balance, but I never try to let it get disruptive and unbalance my life. Biggest tip is to try to improve each set by one more rep each week. Do this and you'll exceed all your goals and expectations. People make lifting way too complicated, kids. If you want to get strong, my biggest tip is if you're at 8 reps with a weight, go in next time and try to get 9 reps. Go in next time, try to get 10 reps. This snail-like pace adds up quickly, especially when you become an intermediate lifter. And before you know it, you're incredibly strong after 3 or 4 years in the gym, and it's all good stuff after that point. I would say my biggest pet peeve in the gym is seeing guys that do 456 sets per exercise. This type of volume is not needed and is generally just a recipe for injuries. You see guys come back on forums all broken up and all injured, and they can't figure it out. But then they don't have it doesn't strike them that they're doing 700 sets per exercise and beating their joints in the dust. That's a real easy question for me. Having children. I was a pretty selfish son of a bitch in my youth, drinking and doing all the stuff we do in our youth. Having children was very humbling for me. It taught me to serve others, and that not only improved me as a person, but also improved me as a human being and as a husband. Generally, overtraining to me is not a real threat. With that said, many guys do a lot more work than they need. Just because it's almost impossible to overtrain doesn't mean you should go out and be an idiot and train yourself, with 479 sets a day. I don't believe in that either. I believe in intelligent training, focused on specific goals, calculated progression. Whether or not you can go in there and kill yourself is irrelevant. That's not the point of weight training. And if anybody thinks it is, I'm sorry, but you are wrong. The best thing I've ever purchased is a slingshot, a bench press slingshot. This thing really saves my shoulders on the bench over time, and not only that, but it allows me to overload. Without it, the 20 years, 25 plus years I've been benching has really beaten up my shoulders, and without a slingshot, I could not bench heavy every every workout, so it's been a real blessing. My perfect day involves lots of food, lots of laughs, friends, family, and country living. I do not like big cities. Get me away from people. My favorite quote is, "Let bravery be thy choice, but not bravado."